Hi everyone, welcome to the Icehouse podcast. I'm Bryar Stewart, the Community Manager at the Icehouse, and it's a real honour to be talking to Kim Hill today, who's an Icehouse coach. Kim is an incredible coach of ours. We're very grateful to have her on our team. She brings 30 years of experience, expertise, and extraordinary people skills to her work as a business advisor and strategist. She has been a successful business owner and operator herself. She's widely sought after throughout Aotearoa New Zealand to facilitate workshops, lead one-on-one sessions, and to set and implement high-level strategies for private enterprise, individuals, and government agencies. She works in industries ranging from creative arts, construction, fashion, health and fitness to hospitality. Kim works at all levels from idea generation to high-level strategy. Her expertise is also in demand by governments on boards in Māori and Pākehā organisations. What an honour to have you on the podcast today. So welcome, Kim Hill.
Oh, thanks, Bryar. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Awesome, so cool. Well, I like to start off our coaching interviews with some quick fire questions to get to know you guys a bit better. So first things first, how do you take your morning coffee?
Oh, it's so important, our morning coffee, and I take it short, strong, half a teaspoon of sugar and a dash of milk. I probably should be giving up sugar, but hey.
Wow, that is a good morning coffee boost. I like that. That's got to get things going. Nice. Morning or night person?
Definitely a morning. I'm definitely a morning person. Yeah.
What time-ish would you get up normally?
Oh, I'm honestly awake by 5:30, and I'm I'm on fire, Bryar, in the mornings, and yeah, I just love early mornings.
I love that. That is cool. Favorite meal?
Definitely kaimawana, so definitely seafood.
Awesome, so good. All seafood, just love it all?
Yeah, I do. Fresh seafood, fresh salads, fresh sort of greens. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Perfection. Perfect. Favorite place in the world?
When I saw this question, I really reflected and I thought definitely Aotearoa beaches. I'm a real coastal sort of beach girl. So that has to be my favorite place, because even when we travel or are allowed to travel, and I love traveling the world, you still can't beat our beaches.
Yeah, it's so true. They are beautiful, and we are so lucky at the moment to be enjoying the summer days. It's so awesome. Cool. So with that, I guess I can kind of guess what the next one will be, but summer or winter?
Definitely summer. I'm a summer girl.
Awesome. That's good. What's a hobby you enjoy?
Well, again, I think it goes in line with the last couple of questions. Anywhere on or in the water, so on the boat, fishing, stand-up paddling, snorkeling, swimming, so yeah, definitely. And aside from that, it'd be CrossFit and yoga.
Yeah, nice work. That's cool. I love that. Middle name. This is an interesting one.
Yeah. Diane, of all names, with one N.
Nice. Diane with one N. That's nice. Love it. Kim Diane Hill.
Yes.
What a name. That's great. Cool. That we learned some more about you, so that's awesome. Thanks for that, Kim. So first things first, deep dive question. Give us some insight into your career to date. What has been the journey to get to where you are today?
Well, when I think about that, Bryar, I've been owning and operating strategy, my own business, for about 20 odd years.
Wow.
So probably giving some hints on my age. But I've had a really diverse background, so extensive background, I guess, in sales and marketing. Owned and operated my own corporate fitness centre in my late 20s for 5 years.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, and really, really interesting. I always say my best MBA, because you're managing 30 odd staff. And it was at a time where the industry was at a different stage than where we are today. And I loved it. Won a number of awards, nationally recognised awards in there for client retention and marketing. Wow. So that sort of really helped shape, I guess, a whole lot of that drive. I mean, I've been self-confessed entrepreneur, so definitely been in business on and off a number of times. Got an ad agency background, but have an absolute passion, I guess, for business and empowerment and literacy and entrepreneurship. So I think all that sort of segued me into where I've landed today, which is as that business coach, advisor, and mentor.
Awesome. That is cool. Yeah, really cool to hear that background as well, and your experience of actually, going through the grit and having to, own and operate your business yourself, with strategy, but also, in the fitness world, which I didn't know. You would have learned a lot, I am sure. That's really cool. So next question is, what does life look like today? What do you focus on?
Well, so you mean work-wise, or I think when I sum this up, I guess it looks like constantly working and powering up businesses and entrepreneurs in Aotearoa.
Awesome.
And
so cool.
Yeah, and some of that also includes our Kiwis that are operating offshore, because I work with some of our clients virtually in Japan and China and Australia and so forth. So yeah, definitely it's about powering up businesses in Aotearoa.
Doesn't get much better than that. That's really cool. Now, if I was to say it was more about your lifestyle and personal side, what does life look like today from that end?
Well, like everyone, we're always seeking what we call balance. But I sort of just push that word to the side now, because I think it's actually about making sure that we find a way to live our life all the time, on purpose, being our authentic selves. So I really love what I do. So awesome. It's not hard to do what I do, and I guess add up the hours. But a whole lot of my life does include trying to factor in all the other things I love, which is time with my family, time getting out in nature, definitely fishing, on the boat, travel, so always trying to keep a whole lot of diversity. I love to make sure that we keep the child within us playing, because I think life's too damn short.
Yeah, so true. Keep mixing it up and keeping it fun, and what you said, like the element that you love what you do and you feel on purpose just changes the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So when did you start working with the Icehouse, and how did it come about?
I've had a relationship with Icehouse for about 10 odd years, and I did some work with iwi planning and Māori development with Travis and Shay.
Cool.
But however, more formally in the last 2 years. And it came about through knowing some of the great people, obviously, in Icehouse, and there was a natural synergy in the way that we work, which is client-centric. And I often think about, we're client-centric, really focused on the person as well, so not just the business. And so it's adopting that whole concept that when we work with entrepreneurs or business people, we're working with them as a whole person, not just the title of the business title that they come with. And I think that really fits with the way I operate, which is making sure that at times we're supporting that person, because there's other dynamics that are going on in our lives, as well as being, a founder or director or a CEO of the company. So that style really fitted with me. And so, I just love working with the Icehouse team.
Awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, like our holistic approach of, in the business, but also your personal life as well. I think it is definitely such a key, valuable thing that the Icehouse offers through its programs and coaching and all that sort of stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And Bryar, as you would say, is that at the end of the day, we need to be our best version of ourselves to be the best we can be in our businesses. So we've all got stuff at times, whether that be, aging parent or sickness or something that life throws us, because that's reality. But we still need to, deal with that, work with that, but then still run our businesses and achieve those goals and aspirations that we've got.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was talking in a podcast with someone that did one of our programs, and they were saying that one of the coolest things that they weren't expecting was bringing sort of things out of the program into their lifestyle and making like sort of more me changes rather than changes in the business. But now he's saying I do fitness more and I spend more time with my family, and that's helped my business grow. And so exactly like what they get from coaching too, which is really cool.
Because sometimes I'm often talking to our business owners and saying, it's actually okay, give yourself permission to take time out, because we need to slow down to speed up. It's finding your mojo or your way of how you best work and perform, and it's not based on hours, it's actually based on outcomes,
Yeah, so true.
and results.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite aspect of coaching and your job?
Definitely has to be adding meaningful value and impact and results to anyone that I engage with,
Awesome.
and also seeing clients execute, because I'm about a get shit done sort of person. It's about action, because that's where the real goodness happens, and that's where the confidence that builds further confidence to keep executing. So making sure we do execute.
Yeah, we're actually making it happen, which is really cool. Is there anything you took from 2020 which was a crazy, massive, game changer year, that has changed the way that you work and you live for the future? So you think, I'll take this from learned in 2020, I'll take it and I'll bring it into 2021.
Well, I think that 2020 definitely made us all stop and reflect on life itself, or even how we work. For some, they were really pushed outside of their comfort zones and their boundaries, and I think most of us would say it would be efficiencies, or is it more around how we work, or perhaps just regrouping on our purpose and living life authentically?
Yeah, totally.
Because I always drive myself constantly to always make sure that anyone I'm working with, it's about meaningful, positive, impactful engagement. So I'm always about, not one size fits all. So it's being results driven. And I think if there's one thing when I think about that, Bryar, it was definitely that the authentic way that I bring my service delivery or my style to the coaching business advisory space was even really validated just a whole lot more through 2020.
Yeah, totally. It's sort of like there were some things you were actually already doing that people went, oh, like this is how I can now do things. And that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool to hear. Okay, what's this is quite a big one, but from your perspective, what is one piece of advice a business owner looking to grow in 2021? What's some advice you'd give them?
I think it's remaining agile. I mean, I've always thought this anyway, but more so than ever, we need to remain really agile. And I probably liken that a little bit to sometimes, how if we reflect, I don't know how many of you have been to Waikato on a foggy day and you're driving in that fog, it means that you're only seeing a certain distance in front of you. So, you've really got to be on your toes and be aware of your surroundings. So I think that would be one of my key pieces of advice, is really be sure that you're remaining agile and prepared to actually, I guess, innovate or,
totally. Yeah.
The word pivot's been overused, but in actual fact, I guess it's still really relevant. Be responsive, be prepared to diversify, but stay on your game. And our business plans are really, really important, but I think, again, it's critical that it's more action plan and that you're executing.
Yeah, you're actually making it happen.
Making it happen. And if there's one thing when I reflect back on some of the businesses that I worked with or was fortunate to work with last year, COVID actually pushed them to actually dig out their business plans. And which brings me back to the reason why our business plans should be about an action plan, and sometimes, good, clear, concise one pages are what you action and execute, and your business plan should be an organic document.
Yeah, so true. Not just something you write up and then you sort of pop away for many years and bring it out during a pandemic. That's true. Yeah, that's awesome.
And the other thing I sort of noted was actually don't let fear control you.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
Because having just had a gorgeous new granddaughter in my life, it reminds me again that something I'm often heard saying is the only thing we fear when we're born is loud noise and being dropped. Everything else is learned. So although I understand that these changing times in our world can be sort of, daunting, acknowledge that, but also don't let fear sort of consume you when it comes to business.
Yeah, that's so cool. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool, Kim.
Yeah.
Are there any client stories that sort of stick in your mind that you're really proud of, that you have memory of, and you smile when you think of it? Any awesome client stories?
There's so many that I
imagine.
could, if there's something that I love to do, it's talking about my clients and how great they are and their successes and the journeys, no matter what it be. But there's a few that spring to mind immediately when you ask me that question. One of them has to be Media Flavel. So she's got Hene Collection. So she's the founder and director of Hene.
Wow.
She's an entrepreneur herself, and she's a wahine with grit. But from a startup business where she sought me out to work with her, and she was in that startup phase, to now being such a large organization and brand, it just really excites me to have had the honor to work with her, but also to be that guidance along her journey. And to watch her literally execute and feel the fear and do everything anyway, that's just been like awesome.
Yeah, it must just be such an amazing feeling where, you have a session with them and then you actually start seeing them implement things and it's working and they're moving forward. Like, what momentum. That must be exciting. Very exciting.
A couple of others come to mind. There's Nicola Takiri. So she's a top New Zealand Māori artist. So that was, been working with her for over 6+ years. And again, that was, her art was actually her hobby, and now it's a fledgling business, and she's employing 10+ people. She's been on the New Zealand fashion catwalk. She's recently in the media exposed as designing the Auckland Museum uniform.
Wow.
So
how fun, how special. That's cool. That's
and there's others, I guess, Bryar, that come to mind, like construction businesses that through, working with them, they've been able to identify where the gaps are in their business, and we've actually made massive changes just from good, solid coaching and advisory, and actually turned their business really around.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I think the amazing thing about you working in these companies is that a business has so many people attached to it, so many families and livelihoods and all that sort of thing, that your conversations with this one business owner is affecting actually generations, which is really interesting. Yeah, that's
absolutely
so cool. Okay, so 2021, what excites you most about 2021?
There's a whole lot, I guess. The excitement of actually getting amongst our businesses and supporting them as they sort of, look at their plans for 2021, to actually see the resilience that we've had in our country. There's been some amazing stories that I'm sure that we've all seen about how many businesses have literally got in there and changed things up.
That's awesome.
And getting alongside them and being there as a constant support to help them believe in themselves and just be that safe sounding board that can help them realize their aspirations and continue to grow.
Yeah, how exciting. That's
but
really
also be there when the chips are down a little. We all need it.
Yeah, like you said, a sounding board, in the good and the bad times. That's really cool. So valuable, so valuable for these people, because when I've just recorded another podcast with a cohort that did owner manager program, and such a theme that came through it was, sometimes being the boss and being, the top person is lonely, and
Absolutely.
and you feel like, oh, I can't ask my staff this because I should know it, or and so one of the benefits of owner manager is that they can chat to the people within that group because they're all sort of on the same page. But same with a coach, is you have this one person that knows your business, knows where you're at, and can be that sounding board, and that is gold. That's
absolutely
awesome. Well, last question is one interesting fact that not many people know about you. I thought we'd finish on a fun note.
Yeah, well, actually, surprisingly, what people don't know is that I'm actually quite shy, because most people would see me as an extrovert because I guess I love
Wow.
socializing.
Yeah.
But I'm not hugely comfortable talking about myself. And
Wow.
I can talk about my clients and their successes and promote them. But actually being able to sort of, I guess, talk about myself is always where I guess I'm a little bit shy. And
Wow.
if I reflect back, because I think, as you know, Bryar, I work quite heavily in Māori economic development,
Yes.
is about 25 odd years ago, it could even be longer, a Māori leader gave me a particular whakatauki about my work, which was basically that the kumara need not speak of their own sweetness, because your work will speak for yourself, for itself.
Wow.
So it sort of held me in good stead, although in saying that, I think great people like Robert and even Holly, Holly Bennett, it's nice to see their reminders of it's actually okay to wave your own flag.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
you know, actually to power ourselves up as business people, and
Yeah.
we can still do that in a way that authentically fits with ourselves. So yeah, that was. And the only other one would probably be that I was an aerobic instructor back in my day, you know.
Oh my gosh, that is great. Was that
and fluoro?
Yes, fluoro and all. That is cool. Those are awesome. I really like that, and I like how it seems like, yeah, just that journey of being your authentic self, you know, through everything. So that's really cool. And an aerobics instructor, wow, two very interesting things. That's cool. Honestly, Kim, thank you for your gold and your wisdom and the energy that you bring. I know it's so appreciated, and those listening will be soaking it all in. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Bryar. It's been a pleasure.